Oh, wow. What a nice morning. I'm happy to be here always with you. And I, I enjoy I enjoy what I do. And although over the years I've been financially successful and I've invested in other things like the auto business, I have a few dealerships and things. By the way, sometimes people say, well, how do you work at that and do this? And I don't. I've never, ever in 30-something years given one talk at an auto store to train an auto salesperson. I don't know how to sell a car, okay? And I've never done that. I don't have anything to do with it. I just invested some money, and the thing grew, and I'm 30-something years later, I've got a few auto stores, okay? Same thing. I made the money came from NeoLife, and my money came from NeoLife, as a distributor. I started to retire when I was 30 years old, and then I decided not to. Okay, that's simple, because I liked doing this more than I liked not doing it. Okay, so that was my very simple approach. But I would like to talk about our business and your business, because it's misunderstood. I recruited a person, and then I turned it over to, this was only a short time ago, and I turned it over to Kendra, and Kendra told me that she followed up, and this guy he's very talented, I believe. I think he's going to do a good job, but he was convincing her of how good he was. It's like, you should, I can do this, I know how to do that. He was kind of a typical man bragging on himself, right? I mean, some of you probably never witnessed that, but it happens. And so, there's a case where they don't understand, because it doesn't matter how good we think or he is. What matters is, can he build his own business? It's up to him. Kendra alluded to the fact that we're at the mercy of what our boss thinks. Here we're not. We judge by results, and if a person does the work, they build the business, and the rest is history. So the business now, what the business is made up of a few pieces. And I just want to go over them briefly, an overview. First of all, there's products that repeat. All right, very key if you're going to have a business. Otherwise, you sell something and then you have to go find a whole new customer all the time. And if you have a repeat product that not only works, where people use the product and then they have a benefit, then they want to continue using the product, and that's called a repeat customer. And so it's very important that those elements be in the business that you build. It's a big consideration, very, very important. And then, of course, the stories that come out of that you've heard today. You hear them every time we get together anywhere. Lives have changed, people's health improved. I'm one of those stories. I won't bore you with the story, but my health improved, and so today, I'm April 9th. I'll be 79. Okay, so that's I'm a healthy. As far as I know, I'm a real healthy 79. There's nothing wrong with me. I don't take any medications, and my blood pressure and my heart rate and my everything goes along smoothly. I mean, at times Susan knows how to raise my heart rate up at various things, but but my heart seems to take it, and so far. Oh, wow. Now, I will pay for this later. Between her and her sister, Barbara, who's in the back of the room, I mean, today, they sabotaged me, okay? I got my very healthy lunch put together, half of a sandwich, set it down, small portions, whatnot, and I don't know, some of you went by and looked at the table, and there were 2 giant platters of cookies on my table, brownies and cookies of all kinds, okay? This was Barbara, okay? My sister-in-law, all right? I made him move it over between somebody else so it didn't look like it, and then I apologized to people as they started the line there to say, I haven't eaten one of those cookies. I'm not going to eat one, okay? But anyway, that's. Thank you, Barbara. Okay. Now, the way that we take these products and then turn them into a profitable business is by creating a large, as large as we can, network of people who use the products. Take the product, use the products, and that repeat usage that's our business, all right? Now, we've chosen to do that through direct sales, network marketing, multi-level marketing. It's got many labels on it, but it's simply a group of people who, through social contact, start to be introduced, and then decide to use the products, and then there is the more products that flow through your group, not mine, your group. That's why anything that happened before you doesn't count for you, okay? Only what happens below you. So it doesn't matter if you're first or if you are 10 down. It doesn't matter, because the only thing that affects your business and mine is what happens underneath us. All right? We all understand that? And then, of course, our compensation plan is simply taking the dollars or whatever currency we deal in, pesos, dollars, naira, it doesn't matter. When it comes in, okay, South African rand, Louis, and Laverne, as it comes in, then the marketing plan or compensation plan has to be fair and divide that up according to how big you build your business. So it's real simple. So the more you can develop as far as a group of people using products that you benefit from, your profits go up. Now, how do you do it? Well, our Getting Started booklet, and various other company pieces tell you the blueprint for building. You know, at the starting point is like get 3 people to help them get 3 and help those 9 get 3 more. And by the time you do that, you've started to go a little bit wide and a little bit deep, all right, in your group of people. And then you add on, you know. Now this hasn't changed since I was a distributor. At that time, the model was, the plan I looked at, it was like get 5 people. Well, by the way, our largest distributor in the world, which is Louis and Laverne's sponsor, Charlie Bolton, he still says get 5, okay? Okay, get 5. And then you start to build underneath each leg so that you build a little business under there. And that's the part that some people leave out. And then some of us, don't ever look at the blueprint as we start to build our business. We just let it build wherever it goes. And sometimes, if we don't pay attention, it'll all go under one of those legs. Okay, now the blueprint says get 3, build under those, and then add on another one. And then by the time if you go all the way up to 5 Diamond Director, you've got 18 legs of Director down several levels, okay? So that's how you build. But it's important to look at the blueprint, which is in the manuals, which says if you do it this way, you come out the best, the most profitable, okay? You make the most money in your business. And I would encourage you to have a look at that blueprint. And then you look at it, and then you try to build it accordingly. Now, it won't happen exactly that way because we're dealing with human beings, not lumber, nails and cement and roofing materials. Those don't change, okay? Human beings do change. And that is the job that we get paid for. Helping, encouraging, setting goals, training those human beings to do what's best in their own interest. Okay? That's the job. But we can build it. We can look at it and say, you know what? I was talking to Louis the other day, and he said, I've added a new leg, and I'm over there working with my new leg. Then he was saying, I'm working with our son, David, right? And get that leg stronger and working with him, and I'm going over here. So now, if you say, well, how did I do it? I've been asked, how did I do it? And I will tell you that I recruited my legs, okay, as a young guy. And then I started building down the legs. And by trial and error, by the way. Along the way, while I'm doing this, I am one of those people living below the poverty line. Really. I mean, I had concerns about enough gasoline in the car to get to the next appointment, right? To the next place. I had to sell things along the way. Since I didn't have money, I would sell something, one of my products, and I would make sure that if I got anybody's attention, I didn't just try to get the name and meet them later and all that, take the slow approach. I do that now, but then I wanted to leave with some of their money right there so I could go further, okay? That was my goal. So my own desperation caused me to do things that maybe I would not have done if I was a trust baby and my parents had left me money and they were sending me money every month. I probably wouldn't have made it, you know. I had to do it. And I believed in the overall dream. I believed in where I was going. I could see clearly the blueprint. I knew that I had to build it. And when it didn't happen, I didn't blame the plan. I didn't blame the company. I didn't blame anything. I just said, you know, I've got to work on myself because I could see others doing it. And I just kept thinking, if they can do it, I can do it. Okay? And so that's what kept me motivated and concentrating on building the organization the way that I thought it should be built. Okay? And I was being told it should be built. And then, of course, along about 1970 was when I went through a few companies, as you know, because of the companies failed, and I had to start over. I still believed in the concept, and I finally found a company where it lasted, and I was able to make money, and then I eventually bought that company. Okay, so. And then that was all part of the thing. It's kind of a complicated story, but I won't bore you with it. But I'll tell you this. If you make up your mind, you set your goal, you have a plan, you work toward that plan, allow yourself the time to learn and develop and have enough experiences where you can adjust one way or the other, okay? A little bit of adjusting to fit you. I'll give you an example. When I was a school kid, before I was driving, after my growing watermelons and taking them down the street and selling them out of my wagon, I was 10 years old when that happened. And I would scratch the price on the watermelon, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1 on the big ones. And just a sad-looking little kid going down the street. And the housewives felt sorry for me, and they bought my watermelons. And then I ran out of watermelons. I was out of business, okay? So I looked in a magazine. I found nameplates, Mr. and Mrs. Louis Smith, okay? I would put on a black background and white letters, and it glowed in the dark. Soak up sunlight during the day and then glow in the dark. And I had a story. I would go to the door, knock on the door, say I'm selling these nameplates, and I'm trying to earn money to go to college, okay? Now, at that time, I thought I was going to go to college. And so I wasn't lying. I want to make that clear, okay? And people would buy my nameplate, $2.98. And they gave me $1 down, and the company sent them a bill for $1.98, and the dollar I got down was mine. That's how I went along, and I could make money, okay? And there was no limit to how many I could sell. My family moved to Springville, okay, along about here, and I was in the 7th grade, and I took my nameplate pitch out in the community there in Springville in the mountains, and when I want to go to college and I want to save money, nobody bought my nameplates. And in the mountain town, going to college wasn't as important. It was like, why are you going to do that for? So this was a while back. But anyway, so I changed that wasn't working, so I changed my presentation. I said, all the other kids up here have horses. I don't have a horse to ride with them. And I would like to save my money and buy a horse. And they would buy it and say, yeah, I hope you get that horse. Now you let me know when you get that horse. Okay? So I just had to change. And by the way, both stories were true. Okay. Now, anyway, now, how did I do it when I started building my organization? I gave presentations almost every day during the day. One-on-ones, 2, 3 meeting, follow-ups, and all that kind of thing, okay? I gave 4 or 5 presentations a week at night. In those days, it was in the evenings, okay? And that's how I did it. And then when it came, I'd moved to the Bay Area, so I had, for example, 2 nights a week was in San Jose, okay? I would have like 2 nights a week, usually Monday and Thursday in San Jose, at what was then the Hyatt. I think now it's called the Marriott or something down on First Street. That's where I had the presentations. Now, I had little presentations during the day and whatnot leading up to that. And even when I started the company, which is now NeoLife, I would work during the day. I would come in kind of late. Time is up. But, that's it. My gosh. Okay. Can I have a couple more minutes, Kendra? I started, anyway, what I would do is I would come into the office kind of late because I knew I had to work at night. So my arrival time at the office was about 10, 11 o'clock. I would work until 4 or 5 o'clock, run home, take a shower, put suit on, and then go out. And I had 2 meetings a week in San Jose at night, plus during the day. And then I went to Oakland 1 night a week. Had a distributor in Oakland. I would go work with that distributor 1 night a week. Had a meeting, whether anybody showed up or not. Didn't matter. I wasn't trying to get a lot of people together. I was trying to sell something to whoever came to that meeting. And if it was some of them were in the home, some of them were in a little meeting room somewhere, it were in a church. It was wherever I could have a meeting and didn't have to pay very much. And then once a week, I'd go to San Francisco, okay? And then sometimes on the peninsula, and then once in a while, I'm over into the San Joaquin Valley in the direction of Sacramento. So I would spread out and have my meetings, and I would keep going back and building with the same team in those locations, okay? Now, I don't know who does that today. I can tell you that works, okay? That will work today. And I know there's a lot of things happening now in social media, and where that you can go online and you can work with people that way. I've always found that I had better results if I was face-to-face with somebody and talking to them and then helping them to see the picture that I have, and so that they too would buy into it and create something for themselves, okay? Now, it doesn't matter that if I went through each name that I had in my direct line, okay? Here's the bad part. They're all dead. All dead. I was recruiting people when I was 20 and 25. I was recruiting people who were 45 and 50. And so they're 25. If they were still around, they would be quite old, okay? Now, now today, because of the products, because of lifestyle, I hope I have more time to more years here. In fact, but I was reading the Bible, and I noticed that in the case of Moses, when he was born in a privileged home, we'll say, and he then grew up, Pharaoh's household, and then when he was 40, he murdered one of Pharaoh's soldiers, and then he ran for his life, and he went to live in the wilderness, and he was a sheep herder in a family, and he married one of the daughters. It doesn't say what happened. When he left there, he must have left a wife and everything behind because it never mentioned again. But he did not get the directions from God to go back in until he was 80. He was 80, 40 years later, okay? I can't wait to get to be 80. You know, another story that is Abraham, when he got Sarah pregnant, he was 100, she was 90, okay? Watch out, dear, okay? And all right. I've enjoyed talking to you. God bless.